far?
So the very fact that I am the first woman IPS officer in the state of Punjab is a great milestone.
Can you share some struggles that you faced in the initial few years of your service?
Yeah, initially there was a kind of a resistance to having women officers, not because people didn't like women to be in such services, but rather because they were not used to that. It should not matter whether you are a woman or a man. You have come in a competitive examination at a national level, and therefore it is your competence which should speak for itself. Lately, Punjab government has introduced 33% reservation for women. See, in the Amritpal case, I again feel that such a person who is not very educated and who claims to be a preacher, and he surfaces out of somewhere. And there is the amazing thing is that there is a big fan following amongst the youth.
Hi everyone, this is Khyati and you're watching True Scoop. Today we're sitting next to the Wonder Woman of Punjab Police, Mrs. Gurpreet Deo. Welcome to True Scoop, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Khyati.
Not only is she the first woman DGP of Punjab, but she has also served as SP Vigilance Jalandhar, DIG Border Range, IG Jalandhar Zone, and Head of STF on Anti-Narcotics. So we are going to talk to her today. Ma'am, my very first question to you would be, what's the biggest milestone of your career so far?
So the very fact that I am the first woman IPS officer in the state of Punjab is a great milestone for all women to follow, I think. So, I mean, that is it.
Great. Definitely, ma'am. It's very inspiring. If you could describe the Punjab of your dreams in 2 lines, how would you do it?
I would like to have a Punjab which is educated, which is healthy, and which is prosperous.
Beautiful. And how has the meaning of community policing changed over time, and what does it mean to you today?
See, community policing is basically the very purpose of policing is to police the community, because there are certain unruly elements in the society who need to be handled, and so that is why there is a requirement of the police. But one believes that the police cannot do everything single-handedly. Earlier, the main focus of the police was only on prevention of crime and maintenance of law and order. But now, as we have progressed into the 21st century, we have other issues like domestic violence, issues relating to cybercrime, and many more such issues where social media has come up in a big way, and the digital and electronic media has holds a sway over the society, so to say. So now community policing has become more important in the sense that we need the cooperation of the people for doing our jobs. For example, we are now trying to engage our community in helping the police on a voluntary basis for solving matrimonial disputes. Most of the police officers are engaged in core duties of prevention of crime and law and order, traffic management. Yeah. But there are very many people in the society who have retired from service, or who are wanting to do social service and go beyond the call of duty and go beyond merely earning a livelihood. So they want to contribute to society, and there are many ways in which we can engage them with the police department to do things which they would like to do for a social cause. So that's how it is. So community policing has in Punjab, it is one of the states which have taken a lead in institutionalizing community policing. Earlier, community policing used to be like individual initiatives of some police officers, but here it has been since 2011. We have institutionalized build-up in which we have almost 293 centers which are adjacent to the police stations, and there people come and interact with the police in a very friendly environment.
That's quite amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. So, ma'am, when you joined police, I'm sure there weren't as many women police officers. Can you share some struggles that you faced in the initial few years of your service?
Yeah, initially there was a kind of a resistance to having women officers, not because people didn't like women to be in such services, but rather because they were not used to them.
Yeah.
So now, so it used, even for for that matter, for getting posted as SSP, one had to really struggle and have number of meetings with the chief minister of that time and request him that it should not matter whether you are a woman or a man. You have come in a competitive examination at a national level, and therefore it is your competence which should speak for itself.
Exactly.
And in fact I got my first stint as SSP courtesy the Election Commission of India, because in 1999 the then SSP Ludhiana had to be shifted for some reason, because the district in which he was SSP, that is Ludhiana, it was his home district. So then the Election Commission of India posted me as SSP Ludhiana. So I conducted the 99 parliamentary elections successfully.
Great.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, talking about today, do you think that women are still underrepresented in Punjab Police? And since you are in a position of power now, how do you think you can make Punjab Police Force more inclusive?
Yeah, so I feel that, if the population comprises of 50% women, and there are very significant issues of women which come to the police, it is very important that you have an adequate women representation. So even now in police, there is, in Punjab Police in particular, the representation of women is under 10%. So we have had all India Women Police Conferences at the national level, and we have been women police officers in particular, and the Bureau of Police Research and Development and the Ministry of Home Affairs have also advocated that at least 33% of women representation should be there. Ideally it should be 50%, but to begin with 33% should be a good start. But lately Punjab government has introduced 33% reservation for women in all government appointments. So the latest appointment of recruitment which we did, and I was the chairperson of the recruitment board for recruitment of constables. So we have taken 33% women in the police force.
That's amazing. Great step again. Another question about the law and order. So law and order lapses have taken quite a lot of space in the media headlines of Punjab. How do you think it has affected after the new ruling government, and what's your take on that?
See, I think that policing is there. The police is there because there are law and order issues. Yeah. So it is, I feel sometimes the media blows out things out of proportion. And if population of a state or a country is increasing, if the socio-economic problems are there is a lot of, as I said before, there is a lot of cyber crime. So with new advent of the new era, there are going to be new crimes and new challenges. So we should take it in that spirit and not ascribe it to the one government or the other. Right. So if somebody is a gangster, it is not because it is government A, B, C, D. Right. It is the person is a gangster because he's not educated. Yeah. He doesn't have a proper direction in life. Yeah. And he is a little confused with whatever he has to do, because a gangster, if any sensible person would not take to this kind of way of life. Right. Because if you have a good parenting, like you and I, if our parents would have told us that you can do anything and you can make a fast buck, you can rob a bank, so probably we would have been doing that. I think that there is something missing in the society, in the parenting, which is responsible for, growing unrest and unemployment and those kind of things. And we can't blame governments for, law and order issues, except that how they handle the law and order problem.
A very good point about parenting, which is something people don't talk about as much. Education is definitely one thing, but then parenting goes hand in hand, and it should.
Those are the basic reasons why people are going astray, and not that the surface issue we would like to blame ABCD. Yeah.
So, ma'am, about the Amrit Pal case, is there any message that you would like to give through this interview?
See, in the Amrit Pal case, I again feel that such a person who is not very educated and who claims to be a preacher, and he surfaces out of somewhere, and there is the amazing thing is that there is a big fan following amongst the youth. So as I said before, what does it talk about our society and the youth? So we want our youth to be educated, sensible, able to take good decisions. But is it a good decision to follow somebody who is just a random guy and who doesn't have too much of an intellectual thought process? So what my message would be that the youth should look towards ways and means of getting stable and being on their feet and doing something constructive. And and I feel that there also seems to be a vacuum in the intellectual space, that people are following anybody who comes on the in the limelight, rather than following somebody who talks sense or who has some background to him, who has an intellectual dimension to him or her.
And my last question would be, what do you think about crime against women and crime by women? Has it increased or decreased, and why?
See, the crime against women, because it has been a feudal society, and women still have a long way to go, even in rural areas and also in urban areas. Women are still subject to domestic violence. They are targets of all kinds of crime, including cybercrime these days, and they are soft victims. So crime against women has also increased because the participation of women in the public sphere has increased. So there are more women going out to work, and there is a clash of ideology and a clash of mindsets, and patriarchal societies do not take very easily to women coming out and working. So those kind of issues are there, because of which crime has been increasing. But as compared to the other states in the region, the crime against women as per the NCRB statistics in Punjab is pretty low still. So it is not to that extent as it is in the other neighboring states. But as far as the participation of women in crime is concerned, yes, if women have been moving out in public spheres and doing all kinds of work, they have also moved out and started indulging in crime as well. But again, those who indulge in crime or associate with criminals are those who have some issues pertaining to their past or family support, or some other reason because of which they are either compelled to take to a life of crime because it gives them easy money, or because some of them would have an inclination by nature to go towards crime. But still, I would say the percentage of women in crime is still very low as compared to the men.
Thank you so much for your time, ma'am, and thank you for this insightful interview.